102 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and the producer Zachticum, who's looking fly today. Hopefully he can show you his outfit throughout the show. And again, it's always after Dusty. Have you noticed that?
What?
Well, I just moved it.
Why do you move it? Why do you move it?
I will fix it in our first break.
I won't touch this thing the rest of the show.
But yeah, that's true. I'm kind of,
You're handsy.
Yeah. No, but because the cord's all. Anyways, welcome to EST Afternoons. It is game day. The Edmonton Oilers, Columbus Blue Jackets in action tonight. We're going to break it all down. Fun show today coming up. Of course, we'll talk lots of Oilers. Zach Hyman returns to the lineup, and we'll get to the lines and the pairings and the starting goalie and all that fun stuff and the kind of the dominance of the Blue Jackets over the Oilers as of late, Gager. Farhan Lalji at 120 from TSN. We'll talk all the CFL news. He's kind of been the guy breaking it all. There's news here in Edmonton, news all around the league, and maybe we'll ask him a few Canucks questions. An interesting team, some players hot and cold there as well. So Farhan at 120. 140, your favorite segment of the week, Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. And at 220, we'll talk Columbus Blue Jackets with Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. You like to listen to us, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. iHeart or the TuneIn radio apps. You want to watch us, hit us up on the EST YouTube channel, and you can chat with us there on the Nasty Chat or text us 780-218-9999. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get to 100. We've been close all week. Let's finish strong these last 2 days. Also, subscribe to the channel. I think Dusty's he's put out another if we hit a certain number of subscribers by Christmas, he'll eat. I can't remember what he said.
Oh yeah, I don't know what he's doing there. Like no one likes that. Was it pickled herring?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
No, look, Dusty's food choices are childish to say the least.
Yes.
Why not? Like he's not going to keep eating pickled herring. Like no. So let's instead of that. When we get to 11,000 subscribers, how about something that he might like and
mussels?
Jesus.
Okay, so what would you recommend then?
Well, it's going to have to be like a few things combined. It can't just be one thing. Like maybe a prepared salmon or something.
Oh, good.
Is like. So, I mean, something that's unique that if Dusty takes his lovely wife Tammy out for, to Mr. Mike's, instead of going with the burger, maybe he does get the cedar plank salmon or something, or the...
He's not having the chicken nuggets or fingers or whatever they're called.
Something that's not put in a deep fryer. Maybe that's a start. And then maybe that changes his whole outlook on different foods, right?
I kind of like that. So a salmon, well prepared,
yeah,
right, with a nice salad because he doesn't eat salad,
yeah,
and then maybe some roasted potatoes or
salad
something
might
like
be
that.
Tough. Might have to put that in a smoothie, but
I like that better because it's something he'll never eat again. So it's pointless.
It's pointless.
Yes, I agree with
let's
that.
change. We're all about change around here. Look at the studio; it looks great. I think we would be better served. Pardon the pun, not really. That Dusty gets something that he might possibly like that continues with his culinary experience.
Max Bezuza says, "Give Dusty a tuna ceviche." No, again, that's
that's not bad though. That's
no.
At Taco Shop, great ceviche. Because it's got other things in there. You might like it. You get the tortilla chips. I know he'll eat those. But you put that on the chip. It's an experience.
So for all you listening, because you listen to the morning show also, of course, it's the hit show on the station. Tomorrow, let's go away from the one-hit wonders that Dusty will never eat again, but let's build a nice dinner plate for him.
Yeah,
of stuff he never eats that would not only he might like, but might be a little bit healthier.
Probably I'm thinking like a blended soup. Oh. Probably, it'd have to be a blended soup. Then maybe a meat dish, and then maybe it's an exotic dessert of some sort. But I think we can get this done.
It's crazy. Did you also hear this morning he said he's never burped?
I don't believe him, or he's about to explode. When he said that, I go, oh my God, if he drinks like a grape soda, it's going to be like blowing up a balloon and letting it go out of your hands. He's just going to fly around the room.
That's physically impossible.
I think it is.
That 40 years on this planet, he's never burped.
Yeah. When is he drinking that? So he's going to eat a cedar plank salmon and chug a Perrier.
We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. Gager, it is game day for the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman is back in the lineup. He will play with Connor McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. Your second line would be Podkolzin, Kapanen, and Draisaitl, which is interesting. Skinner remains on the third line. Hernan does not like that, with Janmark and Enrique, and then Ryan with Perry and Brown. Pairings remain the same, which means Travis Dermott remains out. And Calvin Pickard, who's 5-3 on the season, gets the start. Columbus rolled the Oilers in the first game. That's the game McDavid got hurt early on. They had no interest playing in that game. What was the score? 6-1 on October 28th. But the Oilers are 4-0-1 in their last 5 home games against Columbus. But check this out. Columbus has won 5 of the last 6 against Edmonton. And their top 10 in goals for. In their last 7 games, Gager, Columbus has scored 31 goals.
Yeah, if you were going to tell me that was definitely not on the bingo card when the season started. Yeah, so for somehow, I mean, right now, the Columbus Blue Jackets are 6th in the league for goals for at 3.5. Like it's crazy. And looking at it, their goals against is 3.5. So maybe they're losing a lot in overtime,
and the Oilers are getting the backup too. Daniil Tarasov is getting the start for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Apologies for that, but this is a game for me, Gager, that does scare me because it's the first game after a long road trip. Not long, but 4-gamer. They're coming off a tough loss. I just hope that they don't come out flat. It is Connor McDavid night, as he will be presented with a golden stick in a commemorative. What's the word here?
Commemorative?
Yeah, Tiffany Crystal, in recognition of scoring 1,000 career points. So the Oilers, every time they do these things in honor of a player or past player, they always lay an egg. So I am a little concerned tonight, Gabe.
Or maybe the egg's Tiffany.
So it's going to be a fascinating game down at Rogers Place tonight. Are you going? Well, what do you expect? Do you like that Hyman goes right to the top line? I guess I'll ask you that, Gager, because I know earlier in the week you said no. Kapanen's going to get this guy's getting an opportunity of a lifetime, right?
Yeah, and I look back to during the CFL season, Trey Ford, when he got injured, like you shouldn't lose your job because of an injury, right?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So
yep.
I think that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw Zach Hyman on that line was, look, he left because he was injured, but now it's time to perform. Like, Zach Hyman has to not only have a good game, but I think he has to contribute offensively to either scoring goals or setting things up and along those lines, because he's been dormant, I think, for the better part of this year, and it just not the Zach Hyman that Edmonton Oilers fans are so used to, where dogged on pucks, battling in front, just constant effort. And I'm not saying he wasn't working hard, but it just, this whole injury and being out for so long, that's what made me believe that this is something that's been nagging him. Hopefully he's back to 100% and can play the style of hockey that's made him so successful.
Could this be a reset for him? Like, hey, I started off slow, I got hurt, but now I'm ready to go once again. I'm going to start potting some goals.
At first when I heard he was going on the trip, I was like, oh, good, he's going to be back. But then when he wasn't playing, I go, oh, this guy wants to party in Vegas for 2 days. But no, I think that, we hear at times, not in the case of the Oilers because of cap restraints, but you'll have guys go, okay, he's going to go sit in the press box. It usually happens with younger players, not so much with veterans, but I think that the fact that Hyman went on this trip, probably watching a lot of hockey from the press box, and just seeing, you start you can see plays develop a lot easier from that height, right? You've been in the press box.
Yeah.
Like you can see things forming a lot quicker. So I think that's valuable for guys that maybe it's not going as well as it normally does, because, okay, I have a little bit more time there. Oh, this is this. So slowing everything down and getting a bird's eye view of things, I think can help. It doesn't happen a lot with veteran players because they don't usually get banished to the press box that much. But I think these last 3 games on the road, Zach Hyman just watching can be valuable.
Oh, for sure. And I'm going to give you a Hernan's crazy stat of the game right now. A crazy, it's not really as, well, it is stats. This game's going to be 1-5-5. You want to know why? Both power plays are at 17.7%, Gager. 11 for 62. Penalty kill, Edmonton's at 72.1. Columbus is at 72.7. So special teams suck for both teams. 5-on-5.
The Oilers' PK has been a lot better.
Yes.
So, I mean,
they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's going from a game where you didn't have any penalties too. So
that's a good point. There's probably going to be like 10 today.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, I think, tonight. And we talked about it before, how teams coming off the road.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of a lackluster effort. Yeah, I'm going to say I don't think that's going to happen with the Edmonton Oilers. I think they're going to come out just like the game prior.
Hopefully.
I envision a really solid game from the Edmonton Oilers. And, with the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're coming off a loss, too, after 2 previous wins as well. So I think it's going to be a really good game tonight.
I hope so. And then Chris Knobloch also talked about Victor Arvidsson. He says there's no timeline for his return. And he added, it hasn't quite healed the way he assumed it would have. Like, this is the biggest mystery in the NHL right now. Like, what the hell's wrong?
I'll take your word for it.
This guy went from day to day. He will play the next game to going on the road trip, MIA. Like, seriously, what is going on with this guy?
I don't know, man. I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. The Oilers are a deep team. They don't need. They will eventually need Arvidsson in the lineup, but right now they're good enough to win hockey games. I want a healthy Arvidsson. Looking at past history, he's been out a lot. He's been injured a lot. Get better. And maybe this is him too. Like, no one knows their body more than, themselves. So he knows where he's at. And if it's still kind of lingering a little bit, he wants to get back to full power. And through the last few years, he's probably realized, well, maybe I came back a little too early last time and it didn't really work out. So then
don't go to the Four Nations.
Victor, get better first. Yeah, don't go to the Four Nations. Pull the chute on that thing.
2 things are clear for me, Gager, and Zachticum, who's not paying attention to us. But
he's fine.
Podkolzin's going to be a lock on the second line, I think, for the rest of the year.
No,
seriously, Gager. He hasn't moved there since, early November. They love him in that spot. Jeff Skinner, I think he's going to be rotating through all the lines throughout the season. I want to see Jeff Skinner up there. I'll be honest, I'd prefer Jeff Skinner up there instead of Kapanen right now.
Skinner's in the top 2 lines by playoff time. I'll say that.
I hope so, because right now, Podkolzin's not moving. And this has become Pod Nation. Like, everybody loves Podkolzin. Jeff Skinner played one of his best games lately against Vegas, and he can score goals. And was it Huss who said that Holloway has more points than Arvidsson and Skinner
lit
combined?
Fire, really throwing gasoline on this thing. He knows how to stoke it. But we'll worry about that Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Will he get booed? Will he get a video?
He better not.
Well, hey, he signed the offer sheet, so if he gets booed, I'm not going to get too upset. So,
I don't know if Holloway will get booed that much, but Broberg, he touches the puck. That's when the boo birds come out.
Cool thing down at Rogers Place today, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch, and head coach of the Edmonton Elks, Mark Killam, swapped jerseys.
No way.
Yeah, 2 U of A guys, the Oiler Elks, and then they swapped U of A jerseys.
It's about frickin' time.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was wonderful. It's great to see.
The sporting franchise of the city unite. I love that. I remember when I was first a young 18-year-old coming to rookie camp and back then. The Eskimos, obviously, they were huge in town, and there was those years there was a lot of cross kind of relationships between the Edmonton Oilers and the Elks. I thought it was great. It's kind of gotten away from that over the last, I would say, a couple decades, really. But they're the two big tickets in town. I think I always envisioned really like a poster in the city coming in with a picture of Trey Ford and Connor McDavid. That's what you come in and see.
That's what it should be.
That's what it should be.
Because like you're talking about the 90s, that's like when I was growing up and I was a diehard Eskimo and Oiler fan. And I always tell the younger people, like, it was even.
Yeah.
Like the teams that's how much people cared. Like the Oilers weren't way above the Elks.
No.
It was all even. They did everything together. Carnival of Champions, for example.
We went out together. I was at the bar with a lot of them.
Yeah. No,
I wasn't.
did you know Noah Phil played at the U of A too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if you knew that. So, but a cool moment there for both coaches, and Mark Killam got to talk to Connor McDavid, and it was just really cool to see. And like Gager said, it's about time the two teams come together because they're two teams that a lot of people in the city care about.
I think we said we have to ask Stoff, but when was like a U Sports? When did 3 U Sports players all play on the same NHL team at the same time? Because you had Philp, you had
Derek
Ryan, and Nabla.
Oh,
all 3 guys played at the U of A.
That's cool, man.
It is cool.
That is awesome. Of course, it's Thursday night football in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a hell of a game. You can go hang out with LTE at Century Casino Fort Road, but we got to get to a break. Coming up next, we'll talk some CFL and some NHL with TSN's Farhan Lalji. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. But first up is a sports update and a break. Here is Zach.
Zach Hyman makes his return for the Edmonton Oilers as they go against the Blue Jackets, while Victor Arvidsson remains on the injury reserve with no timeline for his return. Join Tom Gazzola for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas at 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, the Jets play the Sabres. The Blues meet the Flames, and the Avs battle the Red Wings for 7 games around the NHL. In the CFL, Trevor Harris has signed a 1-year extension with the Rough Riders after going 7-4 last season. Thursday night football action sees a colossal matchup between the Lions and Packers. You can swing by the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to catch the game with Lieutenant Eric. And for the Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has won this year's Tip O'Neill Award for being Canada's top baseball player, marking the 2nd time he's won the award. We have a quick timeout before Farhan Lalji joins EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You could set up your Christmas tree in the last available spot in the house, or you can create the space you need with Sentinel Storage. Get the most out of Christmas. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
1:22. Welcome back to EST Afternoon. That's some good house music there, Gager, eh?
It's new.
It's good.
Like
Text us 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the nasty chat as well as we welcome in TSN's Farhan Lalji to the show. Farhan, how you doing today?
Hernan, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty busy time for you covering the CFL, all the CFL news and the NHL news. But I want to start with your tweet from yesterday stating that it looks like Jordan McSimic and JC Sherritt will be joining the Edmonton Elks coaching staff, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I think everybody here in Edmonton's pretty excited with these hirings. McSimic's coming back home where he kind of started his CFL coaching career. And, of course, JC Sherritt is a beloved player here, winning a Grey Cup and all that. But what can you say about these two guys? It seems like Mark Killam and Ed Hervey are building quite the staff.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not really a surprise. These are names that have been speculated around Edmonton for a bit. And really, in Jordan McSimic's case, it came down to, are you going to be the head coach in BC? He was a finalist, but I think he was kind of third of the three in terms of the pecking order. And I do know that he briefly considered the Winnipeg possibility. Quite frankly, I think that would have been a smart career move for him to do that and just to learn from an experienced coach like Mike O'Shea and work with a guy like Zach Collaros. But ultimately, the opportunity to go home meant more to him and his wife and family. So he goes there. And, I think if you're Edmonton and you look at what he did with Nathan Rourke as a rookie in 2022, and then really what he did with Vernon Adams the following 2 years, Vernon's played the best football of his career under Jordan McSimic. And if he can have that kind of effect on a guy like Trey Ford, a player who many have compared to Vernon Adams at an earlier stage in his career, I think that's going to be great for Trey and great for the Elks. And when you look at JC Sherritt, I always say he began his coaching career when he was in Edmonton, and Mike Benavides was the D coordinator, and JC tore his knee and had to sit out the whole year. And that year, he started bringing linebackers over to his house to watch film with the young guys and kind of explain to them what he's seeing and what they should be doing in terms of their preparation. And really, that's where his career as a coach began, in Edmonton, and then he spent time in Calgary and in the U.S. college ranks and in Saskatchewan before coming back. But certainly it fits what they're trying to do in Edmonton in terms of bringing guys back that have an affinity for the city and or an affinity for the franchise.
Farhan, we've seen across the league here, the pieces have kind of fallen for who's filling the quarterback positions. Now Saskatchewan has signed Trevor Harris to a 1-year deal. What's your overall feeling with Trevor Harris going back to the Riders?
Yeah, I think that it made sense. When we went through the process here in BC of what the market actually was for Vernon Adams, a team like Saskatchewan made a lot of sense because Trevor's not getting any younger, even though he played the game at a high level when he was healthy enough to play last year. But really, when I talked to them, they were pretty committed to bringing Trevor back. So VA didn't make sense there. And Trevor played well, right? And he's got a great relationship with Mark Mueller there now. And I think they just want to build on continuity and the success they had. So if they can find a way to make sure this guy stays healthy, which is never a guarantee in football, I still think Trevor can play the game at a high level. So, it makes sense. And, again, a spot that VA wasn't going to land, and now a spot Trey Ford's not going to land, right? So as Edmonton goes through its process of getting their quarterback room in order, you're going to see really quickly that there aren't landing spots for Trey Ford, and I think Hamilton pretty quickly is going to get a Bo Levi Mitchell deal done. And once that happens, Trey's going to figure out that the best place for him to be is in Edmonton.
TSN's Farhan Lalji joining us here on EST Afternoons. Farhan, with Buck Pierce going to the BC Lions as their new head coach, who do you see Winnipeg reaching out to filling that OC position? I know there's a lot of names out there, including Jarius Jackson, who was here in Edmonton for the last 3 years. What are you hearing on that front to kind of take that spot of OC in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I think now is the point where they're going to have to really make that decision. I know that they did reach out to Jordan and have a conversation with him. I think they were, there was a thought at the end of it all that, if Buck Pierce doesn't get that job, he can wind up going back. I'm curious to see if Mike O'Shea and Jarius Jackson could work together, if he sees him as necessarily a fit in that building. I think Jarius Jackson's a really good coach. And I'll be honest with you, and I've said this to Jarius, I wasn't necessarily sold on Jarius as an offensive coordinator until he took the reins without Chris Jones in Edmonton. When Chris got fired and Jarius got elevated, The job he did as an OC in the second half of the year, I thought was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
He got them into a downhill run game. He had success with Trey Ford and McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who are completely different quarterbacks. He maximized that offense once he could do whatever he wanted, and Chris Jones was out of the building. So I think any team looking for an OC should absolutely have Jarius Jackson on top of their list, but I don't know if there's a fit there. I don't know if, I think he likes to get outside of stay inside of his building. I think Mike O'Shea would prefer to hire internally. I just don't think there's a logical candidate there. I don't think Paul Lapalisse is going to come back to coaching. I think he's going to stay at TSN. So then what?
Yeah.
Mike Miller is a guy that teams have kicked the tires on. I think Winnipeg should do that. And Mike Lionello, a young position coach in Montreal, I think is ready for the opportunity to run an offense. And I hope that Mike O'Shea gives him a look. He's a young guy. Is he a fit? I don't know. But I think some of these other names that haven't had that job in this building, Pete Costanza, he's worked with Mike O'Shea before. Is that a fit there? I don't know. But I think those are all names that Mike O'Shea should take a long look at for his offensive coordinator spot.
Farhan, I've always wanted to apologize to you for, you probably don't remember, but decades ago I cornered you at the Shark Club and basically treated you like a job interview, asking you questions. It was probably really annoying.
That was you?
It was, yes, that was me. And selfishly, I'm asking another question here, probably along the same lines as I was that night. But out of Vancouver, moving from the gridiron to the ice, JT Miller taking some time off. I know that Jim Rutherford has said he doesn't want to discuss this and stop the speculation, but are you hearing of any sort of timeline to him returning to the team, or Rutherford's basically like shut down any chances of them trading? As he, from the outside looking in, he looks like the heartbeat of that Vancouver Canucks team.
Yeah, I think there's a hope that he does play on this homestand, and the Canucks have a lot of home games in December. They're not going to put a timeline on it for obvious reasons. This is not injury related. It might have been a convenient thing to add to the storyline at the start of this when he first decided to take some time off. I think this is a little more, personal driven. No one has put. Everybody has speculated, and I don't want to go there as to what it could or couldn't be. But certainly, this is personal. This isn't injuries that he's got to get through it. So I know there's a hope he gets back. It's certainly something we never expected from a guy like JT Miller, right? Who's always been that alpha in the room. You talk about him being the heartbeat, and I think that's a fair description. So of all the players that need to step away to get other things in order, I think we were all surprised to see it, but it goes to show you that these things can happen to anybody, and there is real life. We want to treat these guys because they're multi-millionaire professional athletes as almost something other than human, but in reality they're all human. So he's got to take the time that he needs. But the Canucks are obviously pretty thrilled with the fact they were able to go 4-1-1 on their road trip without JT Miller in the lineup. But I know there is a hope that he gets back at some point here this month on this current homestand, and they got a ton of home games in December, and I know they could use them.
Farhan, a lot of talk surrounding one of the forwards for the Vancouver Canucks, Niels Hoglander. What's going on there? Because I know Joaquin and I, when we talk about the Canucks playing the Oilers, we always know it is Hoglander in a good way, but it seems that has he fallen a little bit out of favor there for Rick Tocchet?
Yeah, I think so. Hoglander's been a player that has done a lot of good things. He's a smaller guy, so you always got to look at him a certain way to see whether or not he can play the game a certain way. He was a 20-goal scorer last year, none of which came on the power play. So he does have the ability to chip in as a middle six forward and provide some secondary offense. But, Rick Tocchet is so detailed and committed to making sure that his guys play the right way at both ends of the ice. It's not going to be good enough for you to just be an offensive player. So, they haven't necessarily found the right consistent fit in terms of line mates. They've tried to play him up the lineup earlier with some of these guys, and then those guys get more minutes, and then they're not comfortable with him in those crucial minutes, right? So then they try to play him lower in the lineup, and then he's not as effective of a scorer. So it certainly feels like it hasn't been a good fit with Rick Tocchet. They've tried this now for a couple of seasons. he certainly has trade value because people know that he can provide secondary scoring, and he's got term, right? He's only $1 million or 1.1 this year, but then a 3-year, $3 million contract kicks in, which I think is pretty favorable for a middle six guy. So he could be a pretty good trade chip going forward.
If we look down south, a big game tonight in the NFL with the Packers and Lions going at it. What do you expect from this game? Do you think the Lions can go 12-1? And I've been hearing rumblings, and I don't know if you know this, but I believe it's Hutchinson. Is there a possibility if the Lions get to the Super Bowl that he could possibly be back?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that they're basically targeting that, and he is targeting that. And if he gets there, that he wants to play again this year. He doesn't want to treat this like I've got a long time to go in the offseason before next year. If there's a way for him to play in a Super Bowl, he's right there. But I'll tell you, as far as the NFC, don't look now, but the Philadelphia Eagles are pretty damn good again, right? And like if you'd have asked me earlier, I would have penned Detroit into the Super Bowl, but their defense has been just kind of okay since Hutchinson left that lineup. They're actually doing it offensively, and you wouldn't have thought that with Goff and how they were trying to, earlier, I think he was more of a game manager. Now he's a game winner, right? Like he is playing the game at a high level. They got a ton of weapons for him offensively. And yeah, for sure they could win this game. I like what Green Bay is doing. I like Jordan Love and how they're playing right now, but I've got to give Detroit the edge tonight. But all of a sudden, watching Philadelphia right now, and how that run game is going, and knowing that they still have weapons in the pass game. Devontae Smith's got to get fully healthy and things like that, but they've got pieces, and Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback in my mind. So that's tough. I always felt that it was Detroit in the NFC, and then a bunch of teams pushing Kansas City in the AFC. I'll tell you now, the NFC's gotten pretty deep, and I don't think you could pen Detroit into a Super Bowl at this point.
Farhan, great stuff as always. Thank you for taking the time. If we don't talk to you before the end of the month, all the best during the holidays, and I'm sure we'll chat in the new year.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me, and tell Dustin to stop being so lazy.
And I apologize again for cornering you, Farhan. That'll never happen again.
Farhan Lalji from TSN joining us here. Great stuff, man. The Canucks, NFL, he's got the beat on all the everything. CFL news. Him and Jay Milne, top two insiders in the CFL. So
a little dabbled down south too. That was great.
That was great. That was a great question. Yeah, it's going to be a fun game tonight.
It'll be a great game.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'll probably dabble just before the intermissions and stuff and before the game.
Dude, I remember, like, I was out one night and saw him in the corner.
Yeah.
And I just went over and started talking to him. I don't know how old I was. I think I was in my teens or something like that. And he had his TSN garb on. And I was just like, hey, it was awful. And I left. It was one of those things where I was so embarrassed that I embarrassed myself talking to him after that.
It's all right.
He doesn't remember.
We've all done. No. Farhan has so many people coming up to him. He's probably like, who's this Joaquin? But Don Taylor's a big fan of you.
I love Don. I did the same thing to him.
Yeah.
David Pratt, I did that to him too. It was awful.
Just stalking the.
I told you the one time. Yeah, I probably had a little bit too much to drink, and me and my buddy, he was with New Jersey for a while. Oh, minors. His name was Dean Malcock, and remember Louis Pasaglia?
Oh yeah.
So, coming out of the Shark Club in Vancouver, and it's right there by BC Place, and the Lions I think played, and all the Lions were in there, and Louis came out, and my buddy threw me a big gulp cup and wanted me to long snap it to him. And we were trying to get Louis to kick 3 for us. And my Dean was going, come on, Lou, for three. And then he walked right past us. That's great.
A few texts here coming into the inbox. That's 780-218-9999. Rusty Shackleford says, only hope for Dusty to try something new he would enjoy would be a chicken donair. Chicken donairs are good.
Yeah, but maybe that's fine. I think there's a fine line between comfort zone and being a little risque, but I think you could make something that does go, that's pretty good.
And that's the point here. Like if he's going to eat something to hit 11,000 subscribers by Christmas, it's like something that he'll go back and be like, I want to eat this again.
And this will be this 11,000 subscriber meal that Dusty will go to.
I love it. You just got to build it.
Because no one's eating pickled herring. I tell you that.
Brent P says, Also, I'm feeding and burping my newborn twins right now. Dusty definitely burped, at least when he was a baby.
Let's get Dusty's mom on the phone and see. Like
Nate the Builder. Not burping is a total thing. My wife can't burp either. Married 23 years, and it's never happened.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I don't trust these people.
Big Dave says, hey, boys, I'm going to the game tonight and got my tickets through a work thing, so I'm going to be in a suite for the first time.
Wow.
Is there an etiquette I need to observe while attending someone's luxury box?
Yeah, don't fall out.
Don't fall out. Don't drink all the booze.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Pace yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, probably, and enjoy it. Like, don't. I go into those boxes sometimes. I see people, they're all standing back talking. Like, go sit. Those seats, where those boxes, the view you get to the game are spectacular. You really get a real feel of how the speed and the skill of these guys. So, yeah, crush a couple pieces of pizza, a couple wings, grab yourself some
and watch
Frosty
the game.
Suds and watch the game, because that is a very unique experience. I mean, I love when I get invited to a box, and if those seats are available, I go and sit in there right away. It's fantastic.
KD says, take full advantage of the free food and drinks. Rip City Step was actually working hard today. Did I miss any waivers, Hernan? Nope, no waiver news at all. And Spency 5 Centsy can't burp or won't burp.
I'm afraid he's going to explode.
I'm going to make him burp tomorrow.
If he chugs like, what is that Sprite challenge? I don't want him to puke, though.
Or like beer.
Yeah, how is he not burped?
Yeah, no. I'm going to keep I'm going to watch
just
him.
a little, like, subtle, that's a burp. You might not just give it the big, like, foghorn thing, but.
Oh, boy.
Imagine if he, like, chugs a Sprite or something, and then it's like a 5-minute burp that he, like, it's been sitting in Dusty for 40 years.
That would be amazing. There's a movie where a guy does that. Yeah. All right, coming up next, it's your favorite segment of the week, the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NFL lives at the Canadian Brew House with Thursday night football and your chance to win a trip to an NFL home opener of your choice. $1 off tankers of Bud Light and Budweiser. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Up next on EST Afternoons, it's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. But first up, a sports update with Zach.
Victor Arvidsson has no set timeline for return for the Oilers, while Zach Hyman slots back into action against the Blue Jackets. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop to get you set for the action right here on EST. Out east, Montreal hosts Nashville, while Detroit visits Ottawa, and the Jets take on the Sabres with 7 games around the NHL. It's Packers-Lions for a heavy Thursday night football matchup where you can watch the action with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Barn Lounge in Fort Road. Kickoff goes at 6:15. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Jays has been named this year's best Canadian baseball player after winning the Tippett O'Neill Award for the second time in his career. And with 8 games in basketball, the Raptors hit the court against the Thunder. Red Light District with Joaquin Gage after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too. Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brew House is your your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 143. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Man, I love that song. It's great. Absolutely fantastic song. EST Afternoons, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch here with you. Texas 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat as well. Keep hammering that thumbs up. Let's get to over 100 today. We're at a good pace. We're at 35, so still a ways to go, but doing a lot better than we have the last couple of days. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It costs nothing, because I know some people get scared when they see that subscribe button, but just hit that, hit the thumbs up. And right now,
you don't get emails,
no,
anything like that. But what you do get is the ability to customize. Before we get to the red light, I just want to kind of explain the subscribe button. So what's really nice about it is if you do have a few things on the YouTube platform that you usually watch, when you hit the subscribe button and you go to that section, it lays it all out for you. Especially with ESTN here, Edmonton Sports Talk Network, you can find each individual shows. It's nicely sorted for you, so it's actually a win-win just hitting that subscribe button. So definitely do that.
ESTN, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, you're welcome.
You got to bring it up at the next meeting.
I will. We never go to those things. So this week on the Red Light District, this has been probably the hottest topic in Edmonton since the Oilers' last game, and it's been fascinating to me, buddy, that people are finding someone to lay blame for everything that's wrong with the Edmonton Oilers at goal again, and referencing Stuart Skinner. And they say, you know what they say, that the biggest motivator for people is it's fear, and I can see that.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think you are going to indirectly, the Skinner haters are going to unleash a beast right now in Stuart Skinner. This the added vitriol that he's had to go through about critiquing every little thing of his game that is completely unwarranted. It's wrong, but what I think that does, especially as a goalie, like we're not Michael Jordan. We're not trying to find things, but there's lots of little individual things during practice and playing against other players that can motivate yourself. And the progression of Stuart Skinner, that trajectory, I would say was along the lines of becoming a goalie that's talked about at the end of the year for a Vezina trophy. I said that. I still think that can happen this year. And now you have the fact that you have a fan base that's quite harsh on him. Media, I don't find them. I think they're firm but fair. But now with the announcement of Team Canada and seeing the other goalies that are chosen going on, again, the trajectory of Stuart Skinner getting to a Stanley Cup final, not crossing the finish line, but But getting back to a Game 7, I'm sure there is some fuel. And, I mean, I think the motto for Stuart Skinner for the rest of this season is probably changing, is the old Warrior Poets. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. And we are going to see a very, very motivated Stuart Skinner to prove everyone just how wrong they are.
Yeah, and it's not all the fans and all the media. I've been hard on him, Gager, but I think I've been fair too. Like when he plays well, I say it. When he plays poorly, and I think he should have had 2 or 3 goals, I say it, and I think that's fair. But you have to look at it, and I do believe these guys do see the media and what's being put on X, because we've had Draisaitl, McDavid already chirp the media.
Yeah.
Right? So they pay attention. In this day and age, it's hard not to, right? Like back in the day when there was no social media, you just didn't read the papers and you're fine, right? Now it's everywhere. So and these guys are always on social media as well. So I do think they see it. And I think that's a good point. Like, not so much that, like, I wouldn't say he wants to stick it to them, because they still are Oiler fans, but it's more like just prove them wrong.
Look, I think this is the mantra of the group. You saw what happened in the playoffs with Connor McDavid. Like, you guys don't even think we're going to be here. We were all, to a man, they all said, we're better when our backs are against the wall and no one trusts us, right? And I think there was a lot of internal motivation for this group last year. Now you got your starting goalie, where, he's a major part of this group. I can see this really going, oh my gosh, what happened to Stuart Skinner here? And I don't think he's playing bad. I think there's just a slow progression. Again, I hate to give credit to YouTube Trev, but Stuart Skinner is a slow starter, but it's rounding into form now. And the fact that I think that he wasn't even on they probably don't pay too much attention to the scab list or the disc list, that he didn't even make that list. That's ridiculous. So now, there's a fire in the belly. It's I'll say it. It's Michael Jordan-like for Stuart Skinner to have this type of motivation for him to be successul.
So Stuart Skinner makes 2.6 this year and 2.6 next year. In total, the Oilers goalie this year make 3.6. I don't think we have to lower the expectations, but we don't, like, the Oilers don't have Vasilevsky. Like, yes, Stuart Skinner, can he get to top 10 level? Sure he can, Gager. I think he has the potential to. Has he? No. At times, does he have stretches where you're like, man, this guy's good? Yes. There's a lot of potential left. He's still pretty young. He's at $2.6 million, guys, and we treat him sometimes, and I include myself in this, as top 5 goaltender in the league, and that's probably a little unfair too, that we're demanding this guy to be Vasilevsky and Shesterkin and Hellebuck when he's not that guy yet. Could he? Maybe.
Hey, if Shesterkin was here, you'd say the same things. If you watch Rangers games, he's supposedly the best goalie on the planet right now, and he can't fix that Rangers team, So
it's just, listen, I fair criticism, I'm always going to be obviously okay with it. Like when the Oilers lose, let's say 5-4, and he lets in 2 bad ones, we say it, and you've heard me say it, and you've said it, and we've all said it. We break down the goals. But I went out with some buddies yesterday, some of my Elks buddies. And,
was it a good thing I wasn't
there? No.
Okay.
So
I have too much fun.
So they were like, how's pregame going and postgame? And I was like, well, I got a little frustrating last game. I go, the Oilers lost 1-0 because they watch, but they're not really into it. And I said, and Stuart Skinner took so much heat. They're like, wait. They lost 1-0 and you're blaming the goalie? I was like, that's how. And I think it's coming to the point with Stuart Skinner where it's getting a little unrealistic, where like he has to stop everything. And you don't hear the same for Pickard. You don't?
No.
Is it because he's a backup?
Yes.
Okay.
And look, right now, the Oilers goaltenders are costing them 4.1% of the cap, okay? Which is, I think, a little bit low.
It is.
But the maximum that we've, Dusty and Cass and myself have discussed, we think that sweet spot is probably around 8.5% is how much to be competitive, to stay competitive within the league. That's where your cap has to be with goaltenders. Once you get to 10, 11, that's and unless that guy is Carey Price or Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, you're not going to be as competitive throughout the regular season.
I'll ask you this, and I'll ask our listeners. Please chime in on the Nasty Chat or 780-218-9999. So this deal, he signed it last year. It's 2.6 for this year and for the next year. If he's not the guy and they don't win the cup and it's whatever it is, Gage, they're a playoff team. Do you think this is kind of, these 2 years are kind of like show me, or else we're going to try to find upper echelon goalie?
I think it would be irresponsible just to anoint him your guy unless something, if he pushes through, that the next level and becomes consistently talked about in the same lines as Ottinger or Hellebuck, which he has done more than up to this point in his career, gotten closer to the ultimate goal than both of them. You have to keep looking. Your GM's job is to keep looking, but I would say this is definitely, I don't know what the right word is. Is it an audition? Like the next 2 years are very important for Stuart Skinner. I don't think he'll be out of the league by any means.
No.
But if he's looking for an obvious pay raise,
be the guy. He's got to be a goalie for this group. This group's a little bit different than other groups, right? This is a Stanley Cup contender. So he has to prove that not only can he have a good regular season and provide wins, but also raise that level of his game come game 83 and be considered one of the best players in that 2.5 month period. How many goalies, 2.6 million, are on Stanley Cup contending teams? It's not a lot, man.
There's none. I'll tell you right now. None.
Yeah. So,
that's a bonus. And this guy got you to within a couple shots away from it. So stop it.
Bronco Nick says the starting goalie should have better or similar stats than the backup, right? Well, and because Skinner in the last 5-6 games, his save percentage has been really good.
But
he started bad.
The start of the year was sucked. Let's go in segments here. At the end of the year, you look at the end stats, see what they look like. Okay,
it's like the PK.
Yeah, I mean, a goalie could have great stats and then just get blown up one game and allow 9, and it completely changes. He gets pulled after the first period, and your numbers just go completely out the window. The eye test, if you've watched the last 3 games or 2 games that Stuart Skinner has played, he has brought his game to another level. And I would say Pickard's done the exact same. So, no, he's going to play more. You could argue, too, that Pickard's getting the lesser of the competition, too. So that argument doesn't hold water with me.
And with the stats, I look at it with the PK. If people look at their penalty kill now and says it's terrible, I'm like, well, they've only given up 1 power play goal in the last 9 games. It's because they started so poorly.
Yeah.
So you said, sure, you can look at it as the whole picture, but you can also look at it in sections as well.
You have to.
Yeah.
This is why, you have to break it down with those types of stats. Your power play, your penalty kill, your goals for, against. What have you done for me lately, right? And that's why you hear most of the time when teams talk about how they look at the season. If you look at it at an 82 game schedule, it's daunting. It's huge, right? You have to break it into segments. And I'm sure the Oilers come December have broken this into like their Christmas segment, especially because they play so many games at home here. They have an idea. You'll hear them say stay in the moment, but there's some goals that have been set probably within the last few days that what they want to achieve in the month of December.
Yeah, it's going to be because I'll just throw this in there. The analytics community is stating that the Oilers' defense is actually really good, according to the metrics and all that.
Yeah.
So they're looking more at goaltending's been the issue. You're not like the expected saves and all that stuff. They're saying that's what. No, I don't think you and I are sitting here saying the goaltending's been great. No, we're saying he can improve.
There's been some good performances, but on a consistent level, it hasn't been at the level where it needs to be. But yeah, it's Bronco Nick saying, Skinner's GAA is coming down. Agreed, he's at 2.97. Was over 3 for a long time. It takes so long to bring those numbers down for goals against and up for save percentage. Right? He could have and got to take these with a grain of salt too. Right? So some games like the other day, like Skinner gets 15 shots. Whatever. It depends how much you save and things like that. But then one game you get 50. And you stop. It's you gotta have a little bit of the eye test too in there.
It's a bit of a process. C-Run says the $52 million offense has to score goals. Yeah.
Yeah. That helps.
That's the big one. That does it for hour one here on EST Afternoons on this Thursday afternoon. A big shout out to Farhan Lalji for joining us. I see him all over Twitter. He does so many hits on different stations, but he was great talking CFL, Vancouver Canucks, and some NFL, also Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. Another great one on Stewie Skins, and he will not play tonight, so you can't jump all over him following the
like
post
he used to do to me.
It will be Calvin Pickard between the pipes. We'll continue the Oilers and NFL, CFL, everything talk coming up in the second hour and at 2:20. Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch will join us to talk about these high-scoring Columbus Blue Jackets. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. We're back after the break.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Zach Hyman makes his return for the Oilers against the Blue Jackets, while Victor Arvidsson remains on the injury reserve with no timeline. Join Tom Gazzola for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show alongside Hernan Salas at 6 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, the Jets play the Sabres, the Blues meet the Flames, and the Abs battle the Red Wings for 7 games around the NHL. In the CFL, Trevor Harris has signed a 1-year extension with the Rough Riders after going 7-4 last season. Thursday night football action sees a colossal matchup between the Lions and Packers. You can swing by the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to catch the game with Lieutenant Eric. And for the Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has won this year's Tip O'Neill Award for being Canada's top baseball player, marking the second time he's won the award in his career. On the court, the Raptors tip off against the Thunder with 8 games in the association. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
1, hour 2 here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch, who looks really dapper today. And Bronco Nick, he did get a haircut. Where'd you go, Zach?
Of course, I had to go to Tommy Guns. Actually, a great spot. There's one right around the office from here, just around the bend. So I went there after work yesterday. It's always a great experience. They wash your hair. They got TVs on the mirrors now, like built into the mirror. So I was watching some of the game. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Why you look so dapper today?
It's because I'm calling a hockey game. I'm not going door to door as a missionary or anything. But yeah, I kind of feel like that. I got the plaid on. You know, I kind of when I walked in here today, I felt like too clean. You know, like I shaved a little bit, like. Got the haircut and everything. I might have showered.
You didn't look homeless. That was good.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you guys didn't lock me out or anything. Didn't smell like the bathroom either. So.
Oh, boy. Don't even get me started on that bathroom.
So knocked on the door, and I pretended to be a missionary.
Nice. Well, you do look great, and he's calling the game down at Silent Ice tonight. So
wow.
Great arena.
Tune in to the Cube.
Nice.
You want to listen to us? Hit us up on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in radio, iHeartRadio. You want to watch us? Hit us up on the EST YouTube channel. Hit that thumbs up. We're at 52. Let's get to 100. Hit the subscribe button. Gager just gave you an explanation as why and how to hit the subscribe button. Text us 780-218-9999. If you also want to chirp us on our socials, at Yag Sports Talk, at Hernan the Man, at Joaquin Gage 31, at Zachary HMF. I think that's right. No, HMK.
There you go.
Zachary at HMK. And hit us up on Instagram as well. Edmonton Sports Talk. You can see Reed's basketball preview videos that are becoming an absolute legendary hit.
Oh, my gosh.
They're hilarious. I was part of one. But I didn't get dunked on like the good old Dusty did.
Dusty got just abused.
Coming up in this hour, we continue the Oilers and NFL talk. Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch at 2:20, as we'll talk all things Blue Jackets, as they are the Oilers' opponent tonight. Gager, I want to get to this. This is a little bit fun. Are you a fan of Eddie Murphy?
Yes, I am.
Did you know that today, Beverly Hills Cop is 40 years old?
Really?
It debuted on December 5th.
Wow. What a great show.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that, Gager, for me, like, they were all good.
Eddie Murphy was on a roll back then.
Yeah.
Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop.
Coming to America.
Shrek probably came out at that point, too, when he was Donkey.
That's way later. That's
Was it later?
2000s, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
We're talking like, because Beverly Hills was 80s, right?
Yeah.
87. So.
What's 48 Hours? That was fantastic. That's the Roxanne song when he's singing in the cell, Nick Nolte.
He kind of ruled the late 80s, eh?
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. The first one's still you've seen the new Beverly Hills Cop?
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was good. They started at the hockey game.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, it was what I thought it was, right? It kind of brought me back because it was the same cast, the old guys. I think that one guy passed away right after too.
Yeah, he did. Tiger.
Yeah, that sucks.
And Rosewood and
it looks like he bathed in Just for Men though. That hair color didn't work.
The second one is good too, with the thieves and the horse track, and the third one's okay.
With Stallone's one of his wives there, Red Sonja.
Yes.
Bridget Nielsen,
the tall lady.
Yeah.
So 40 years ago today, Beverly Hills Cop. I want to ask Zach. Zach, have you watched Beverly Hills Cop?
I've watched Beverly Hills Ninja.
Another classic.
Almost just as good.
So that's a no.
Yeah. No, I've never watched that.
Do yourself a favor this weekend. Please watch Beverly Hills Cop. And report
only if
back.
you watch Polar Express.
No.
Come on. What?
Ain't nobody got time. I still got to watch all the James Bond with the new guy.
No, I think they're all gone now. You're too late.
I got to watch Reservoir Dogs because I've never seen it. And Reed says it's one of the best, if not the best, Tarantino movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think it's not my favorite Tarantino movie. Let's just say that. No. I actually kind of liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That was really good.
And I liked Inglourious Bastards. I thought that was great. Django was good. They're all pretty good. Even the Hateful Eight. I'd never watched that. And
I've heard that's really good.
It is good. I mean, those shows are so violent. But I would probably say my favorite Tarantinos are the Kill Bills.
Yeah, they're good.
That's awesome.
Do you remember The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy?
I want the knife. Of course. That wasn't the best movie, but that was funny.
Beverly Hills Cop wasn't as good as the sequel from Snar's Tax. The Adventures of Pluto Nash. He's also made some terrible movies.
Yeah, there's been some rough ones in there. I mean, Daddy Daycare was hilarious. There was one where he was it called like Cop or something? He had cornrows. That was a good one too with Eddie Murphy.
I'm trying to look it up here. Bowfinger?
Bowfinger was pretty funny.
You remember Boomerang?
Boomerang?
Berry? Yeah,
that was I didn't like it.
Robin Givens?
Yeah. It was a little too much, that Boomerang show. But what was he was in the one that was on Netflix with Jonah Hill just recently? It's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. When he's Jonah Hill's dating his daughter. Yeah.
It's really good. I like
what's the name of that one? Jonah Hill's really good in that one. Yeah. That was a really, really good movie. Anyways, are you a fan of Beverly Hills Cop, which turns 40 years old today, Gager? Man, I'm getting old. It's just absolutely crazy. And have you watched the new one? I think you should. It's pretty damn entertaining. It's Eddie Murphy humor. It's some of the best. And we talked about it a bit when we were talking about comedians earlier this week. Delirious and Raw are probably two of the best stand-ups you'll find. Old school.
Yeah. No. They're fantastic.
You couldn't do that now.
No. There's a meme out there where I don't know have you ever watched Chappelle Show with Charlie Murphy, his brother?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's Delirious, where he's talking and someone yells out, and his brother yells out an expletive to be quiet, and you see Eddie Murphy just start laughing his head off because he knew his brother said that and didn't want to disrupt the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
Jasmine in Back in the Nasty Head. Polar Express is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Well, Jasmine, no one cares. Keep it to yourself because it's one of the greatest children's movies of all time.
Watch Christmas Story. I love what they've done with the studio, the William Huff Studios. We're live from.
Not Jasmine. She obviously hates Christmas.
Since 1952. Shout out to Trev, man. He did.
Yeah, he did an awesome job.
Yeah. It just puts you in a better mood.
Way better.
Yeah.
It looks really good on screen too.
It does. Canada, it's 4 nations. U.S. were announced yesterday. No surprises for Canada. It was kind of broke. The news broke the day before. No real big surprises. But for the U.S., Gager, I got to say, when you can leave out Tage Thompson, Jason Robertson, Brock Besser, Clayton Keller, and Cole Caulfield, I think U.S. on paper right now is the best team in this tournament. On paper.
It's excuse me, it's puzzling. That amount of time. Robertson's a very odd one to me that they left out.
He's having a down year, though.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He gets, like, some guys get exempt status. He's one of those guys that does. That guy he's a sniper. And he can score from distance. He's almost like, I find him kind of like a Corey Perry a little bit, not the, accidental on purpose kind of attitude towards falling on people. But this guy can offensively, he's a clutch player, can score big goals at key times. I couldn't believe when I heard that he wasn't on this roster.
Yeah, like Cole Caulfield, he's one of the goal scoring leaders. Tage Thompson, who's got skill, he's big body. I was just wow, I was blown away. But I got it. You know what was interesting? The panel on TSN, Mike Johnson, all the guys said the U.S. is the best team on paper. And I know Dusty kind of broke it down by position, where the only place Canada leads, and I think it's because of 3 guys. Crosby, McDavid, and McKinnon is the forward group, because I still think their defense is probably second or third. Their goaltending's 4th in the tournament. But I don't think this is going to be an easy stretch for Canada in this tournament, Gager, because I understand why they picked certain players, but I think Mike Johnson on the panel said it the best. He goes, "I'm always weary of teams that select their team thinking about the other teams they're going to play."
Yeah. But let me ask you this. What other goalies at this tournament have won Stanley Cups?
Good question. I'm thinking.
None.
Aiden Hill
And
Bennington.
The Canadian goalies.
Yeah.
So stop it.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. Big Uke says, "I bet Jasmine hates when babies laugh too."
Oh, yeah. You know what? She goes to... I saw Jasmine at the mall the other day yelling at the mall Santa.
Snarstack says, "Bowfinger was fantastic." And then our good buddy X-Ray J. Gager, I like Stu, despite all the time he spent with you-know-who. On sheer,
What, Voldemort?
on sheer talent alone, I think Stu proved his worth during last year's run. Concern is the number of goals Oilers give in first 5 shots. Sure. But you also got to look at the 5 guys on the ice in front of him too. What kind of opportunities are they giving up, right? Like
I don't know. Have they been allowing a lot of goals in?
It's not like Mikko Koskinen when he was here, when he was letting the first shot was going in.
I was in the press box, and what was it, like game 6 or 7, and he let in the first
4. He tied a record.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. Oh man. Oh, that I felt so bad for him there. They just kept going in, and then when that was one of the biggest Bronx cheers. You would have thought they won a playoff series after that.
I was there too.
Oh, I think because I think I was talking to you that game. We
Yeah,
might have been
'cause
sitting beside each other.
It was when there was no fans allowed in the arena.
Yeah.
Just media.
Right. Oh my God.
Oh boy, yeah,
That was bad.
It's not that bad. I think what we're just trying to say is just Stuart Skinner will find his game. There's going to be bad games. Everybody has them. Gager, Draisaitl has them. McDavid has them. Goaltenders have them. You pointed out Shesterkin, Jeremy Swayman. They're not having good years.
No,
they're not having good
All
years.
he needs to do is just put a little bit more hockey tape on that CCM Axis XF Pro stick of his, and he'll be just fine. I'm saying that because I didn't know on Puckpedia actually tells you what type of equipment these guys use.
It's pretty detailed, eh?
Oh my God. I wouldn't even, how much is that stick?
Connor's getting the golden stick today.
Yeah.
Pre-game for his 1,000 points.
Jesus, this stick's a car payment.
That's crazy, man. Didn't you say yesterday on a rule you would change is everybody have the same stick or no different rules to what you can do with it? Yeah.
There would have to be there's regulations of how you can design the stick. There'd be subtle differences, right? Just like in baseball, I think you can build a bat to certain specifics within guidelines, but it's the Wild West with those things. And I know this is coming from a goaltender, and people are probably thinking I'm crazy, but I think there should be something done with that.
I'm just seeing here.
The same as tennis. Tennis rackets, there's regulations on it, right? You can't go out there with, some massive thing and just it's going to hit everything back. Golf clubs, there's regulations on things.
Yeah.
I think there's something should be put in place for these sticks.
I was just seeing Dollywall Sports, of course, Rick Dollywall from Donnie and Dolly. He put out 2 hours ago that JT Miller is skating this week.
I saw that. That's why I asked Farhan just to see.
That's going to be a big boost for that team. And then I think Demko took another step back, maybe.
He is
poor guy, man.
That guy's line dancing. It's all forward, backwards.
I tell you this: if he was healthy, he'd be on the Four Nations American team over Swayman.
Okay, so who starts still?
I think it's still Hellebuck.
Who's on the bench?
Ottinger.
Really? You don't put Demko there?
Oh, with Demko.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Demko is in the picture.
Yeah, I'd probably go Hellebuck, Demko. Demko's that good, man.
I would. I said this at the beginning, and a lot of people it was probably Winnipeg fans, and I'm sorry, Winnipeg fans, if you've joined us already, but I had Demko ahead, and I was basing this on not a ton, but when he came in for Markstrom in the bubble and played, I was like, this kid's for real. And it's funny because I saw Demko play as a little kid. I went down to a tournament in Airdrie, and he was there. My buddy was coaching the LA Junior Kings, and he was the goalie. And I was watching this little kid, and he was just unbelievable. And so I taught, and the coach is actually, he's a good buddy. I played junior with him. It's Rogi Vachon's son, Nick.
Oh, crazy.
So Nick had a good idea about goaltending and stuff from his dad, obviously. But yeah, it was and then seeing when he got to the NHL, I was like, I know this kid from somewhere. And then my buddy said, yeah, that was the kid we saw down in Airdrie.
Big Uke says if there would have been more stick regulations in '93, LA would have won the cup. Friggin' McSorley. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that was guys had to get to the rink an extra hour earlier to start like torching their sticks and cutting them and curving them and things like that. Like that was ridiculous back then. Now they just take them straight off the rack. What a time saver that was.
And I think Koob has some homework to do. Spency 5 cents, he says, Face Off, then Beverly Hills Cop, back-to-back is a good combo for the weekend. You haven't seen Face Off either, eh? With John Travolta and
jeez.
Never
Nicholas
even heard of the movie until I read that nasty chat.
It's a little bit ridiculous, but you'll be entertained.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Keep hammering that thumbs up. We're at 56. We'd like to get over 100. Notice I didn't say 100, but we want to get over 100. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so now. And also, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to our channel. Dusty will, we're trying to convince him now to eat a full meal, something he would actually eat again. And like nothing like what's he going to eat again?
Pickled herring.
Yeah, like we all know he's not going to like it, and we want him to try something that he's never tried, but that will actually go back and eat. So let us know what Dusty's dinner plate should look if we do hit 11,000 subscribers. Up next, we're going to head to Columbus and talk Blue Jackets with Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. This is EST Afternoons, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and with your sports update, here is Koob Nation.
Victor Arvidsson has no timeline to return for the Oilers, while Zach Hyman slots back in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop to get you set for the action. Tune in only on EST. Out east, the Habs play the Preds while Detroit visits Ottawa, and the Jets take on the Sabres with 7 games around the NHL. And it's Packers-Lions for a heavy Thursday night football matchup where you can watch the action with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge in Fort Road. Kickoff for that one goes at 6:15. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Jays has been named this year's best Canadian baseball player after winning the Tippett O'Neill Award for the second time in his career. And with 8 games in basketball, the Raptors hit the court against the OKC Thunder. After the break, Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch joins Gager and Hernan. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
It's 2:22 Thursday afternoon, game day for your Edmonton Oilers as they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are back home after a 4-game road trip for the club. Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and myself, and I think Gager's on it today. Pretty sure you are. And
what am I doing?
We'll be on at 6 following Reed Wilkins with Jay Millen. They got a fun show like always coming up from 3 to 6 as well. Keep hammering that thumbs up. We say hello to the Winnipeggers, the Hustlerites, the WSTers joining us on this show. Are you worried about your team? 4 straight losses, 3-7 in their last 10. Gager and I are not worried. They're too damn good, and I can't believe Mark Scheifele didn't make Team Canada. I'll leave it at that.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. But we're going to talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets right now with Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. Brian, thank you for taking the time this afternoon to join us. I got to start right now. We were going through their last, 7 games. This team is scoring a lot of goals right now. What's up with this Columbus Blue Jackets offense?
Well, they didn't actually score at all in their last game on Tuesday in Calgary, and that was a special night and a emotional night. Obviously, remembering the Gaudreau brothers and having Guy and Jane and the whole family there and everything. So, but one thing, if you look at this Blue Jackets team, is under Dean Evison as the coach, is they're out to outwork you. They're going to try and outwork everybody, and keep that puck in the offensive zone, and just keep dumping it back and making you go get it, and trying to set up, get zone time and all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that a lot of people I think maybe don't realize, and they're starting to realize this about the Blue Jackets, is that even though they had the tragedy with Johnny Gaudreau and they lose one of the league's elite players, and even though they traded Patrick Laine to the Montreal Canadiens in the offseason, has one of the NHL's best shots, those are 2 huge losses on paper, but they also have a ton of skill. This team has a lot of young players who are really highly talented, and they're starting to come into their own a little bit. And they've done this goal thing, like scoring a lot of goals. They've largely done it without Adam Fantilli scoring a lot of the goals. He's doing okay. He's doing better. Like he's coming along just fine in his career. But you're talking about guys like Kent Johnson. He until Tuesday he had recorded at least a point in all 9 games that he'd played this year. He looks like a different player. Cole Sillinger, just a really good, solid 2-way young centerman, and actually on the wing right now. Kirill Marchenko, right? That guy, he's lethal when you let him. And John Monahan's an addition to this team that's been fantastic. So you got Voronkov, Monahan, and Marchenko. They're one of the best lines in the NHL production-wise. And it just kind of goes right down the line, right down to Matthew Olivier, has 7 goals so far this year. They are getting the puck in the offensive zone. They're shooting it. They're not being hesitant, and they're crashing the net, and they're scoring goals.
Brian, obviously you had mentioned just a tragic summer for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Patrick Laine leaving, probably being a little bit realistic with this team. Kind of rebuilding, getting the team in the right window. But as you've mentioned now, the Columbus Blue Jackets find themselves in 11th place in the conference, within like a stone's throw of that one of those two wild card places. They also find themselves with a ton of cap space here. Has the positioning of the management and the team kind of changed with kind of the success that they've had so far this season?
Well, that's a good question. I think the natural inclination from our perspective to look at it from the outside is like, sure, it should change. Like you guys you're coming up, you're close to winning, and this and that. But Don Waddell has done a really good job, in his first season in Columbus of really keeping a good perspective on, where the team is at, where he's at with them. He's still learning about the franchise he took over. And, as part of that, he doesn't want to do anything that's like, he doesn't want to like handcuff himself and some big contracts or whatever if they're not perfect fits. Because right now, like I just said earlier, is they have a nice, good young core of players who are coming up, who are affordable, and they're producing right now. Now, are you going to want to supplement that? Absolutely. Are you going to want to add a veteran here and there? Sure, but they don't have to at this point because nobody expected them to be in this spot right now. So I think Don Waddell and Rick Nash and the rest of the front office there in Columbus is I think they're just kind of sitting in the catbird seat right now and just kind of seeing how things unfold. And they do have a ton of cap space, and they could get even more this summer. I mean, assuming the cap goes up. I mean, we keep hearing that the cap's going to go up. They're already sitting on a ton of cap space. So it's going to be a really interesting next year or so.
Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch joining us here on EST Afternoons as the Oilers host the Columbus Blue Jackets. Brian, looking at the special teams for both of these teams, very similar. They have the same percentage on the power play, not producing a lot there, and penalty kill is very similar as well. Is Columbus, scoring all these goals mostly 5-on-5? Because it looks like the special teams is struggling, just like the group here in Edmonton.
Yeah, they are one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league. Top 10, maybe top 5, when it comes to like 5-on-5 goals or even strength goals. But yeah, their power play is kind of middling. And honestly, when you look at the two of them, Oilers and Blue Jackets, the one that you're shocked about is the Oilers, right? That they're not leading the world like they usually are, and I'm sure they'll get there eventually. But maybe tonight, because the Blue Jackets penalty kill has just been really, really leaky. They've given up a goal. I believe they've given up a power play goal in 10 straight games. Wow. I mean, that's hard to do, even if you're trying to do that. So they've got to figure some things out, while they're shorthanded. I mean, listen, if they want to continue this trajectory where they're surprising everybody and they end up with a lot more points at the end of the year than almost anybody gave them, projected them to have, they're going to have to fix the power play. They're going to have to get better goaltending, raise that save percentage up there, because that's one of the areas where they're really struggling right now, save percentage. And it's weird because Elvis Merzlikins, he's not starting tonight in Edmonton, but he's had a string of games where he's been pretty good. It's just, he's also had a few, him and Tarasov have had a few where they've been lit up, and that just ruins your save percentage as well. But getting back to the special teams, they're going to have to fix them both. And, you're going to have to get more production on your power play, and you're going to have to stop leaking goals on your penalty kill if you really want to keep this up. But the good news is if you're the Blue Jackets, the 5-on-5 play is there, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Zach Werenski finds himself on the U.S. roster from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, a big honor. Who I've always kind of been a fan of. Just a great defender. What can you tell me about his success this season in the 24 games, having over a point a game? It seems like this year.
So with Zach, it all started. Well, I mean, it really started last season. Last season, he was coming off of 2 years ago, when he had a really, really bad shoulder injury, and he only played 13 games and missed the 22, 23, almost the entire season. Had to have shoulder surgery, which then kind of set him back in training and everything else as he prepared for last season, 23-24. But he had a good year last year. If you look at his numbers, they were good. In fact, his assists, like his points off assists, were at career highs last year. Like, he was just racking up assists. The puck just wasn't going in the net for him when he was shooting it, which was very odd because he's got a great shot and he's known for scoring goals. But by the end of the season, he started scoring goals as well as assisting, other people scoring goals. And so he just kind of rolled that into this season and, had a great off season as well. And Adam Fantilli, he trains up in Michigan with Zach Werenski in the summers. And, we talked to him the other day, and Adam basically said, this guy worked out like an animal. Like, he was just basically just so intense every day of the summer, trying to prepare for this season and dragging Adam Fantilli along with him as well. And so, he comes into this season, rolls into it. Look at the numbers, right? Like, he's averaging more than a point a game as a defenseman. He is all business, is the way that Dean Evison has put it. He's all business. He's 27 years old now. This team lost their captain, Boone Jenner, before the season started with a shoulder injury. So Zach steps right into that role, and now he's taking leadership as well. So I think he senses this is a time for him to really step forward and become an important player, or a more important player for the Blue Jackets. Arguably their most important player right now with some injuries.
Brian, well, look, if the Blue Jackets can continue their dominance over the Oilers, they've taken 5 of the last 6 games. It should be a good one down here at Rogers Place. Thank you for taking the time, Brian. Enjoy the game, and I'm sure we'll chat soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. Yeah, Werenski having a hell of a season.
He's awesome, man. Like, when him and it was a few years ago, obviously, with him and Seth Jones, it was scary because they played together a lot. 24 games this year, 8 goals, 18 assists. And Brian was mentioning last season that he just the pucks weren't going in for him. He still had 11 goals last year, but with 46 assists to go along with that. That's those are elite numbers for an NHL defenseman.
Yeah, and he leads Columbus in scoring. How many defensemen lead their team in scoring, right?
Well, if Connor and Leon are on this team, it's Darnell Nurse, isn't it?
Well, Kulak.
Kulak, sorry.
Interesting that he said that they've given up a power play goal in 10 straight. Like, this is just setting up for the Oilers to we're going to be sitting here, they're going to have 5 power plays.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Because in the last game, there was no power plays. Tonight we're going to have a bunch. You just know it. And both teams,
oh, yeah. It'll be a parade.
Both teams struggling mightily on the power play and the PK. Even though the Oilers have been good as of late, the percentage is very similar. I think it's 0.6 off from what Columbus is at. So this could turn into a special teams battle. 5-on-5, they're really good. They've scored 31 goals in their last 7 games. They were shut out the other night in Calgary on a very emotional night, honoring Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Gaudreau as well. But that's a ton of goals. They're top 10 in goals for. They're really good 5-on-5. And Zach Werenski, you make a great point. Because he got hurt one year and he was out for most of the season. Like, he was just trending. And then he had a little bit of a lull getting back from that injury. But he's back to being the Zach Werenski we saw before the injury.
Yeah, if Oilers fans are, well, I don't know if it'll be a treat or not, but watch Werenski play tonight. He's one of the stars of the league.
He sure is. Keep smashing that thumbs up. We're at 67 till 33 away. Can we do 33 in 25 minutes? I think we can. I believe in our listeners and everybody watching us. Just hit it up. Put your phone. Like, if you're listening, Gager, just quickly go on to YouTube real quick.
And subscribe.
And hit the thumbs up. just like you did for Dusty. When
I just did
when he ate an artichoke.
yeah, exactly.
It's that simple. You did it for Dusty to eat an artichoke. It was like 310 minutes, Gager. It was quite impressive watching that number rise.
I don't know how that was that hard. And then he wants to go straight to a pickled herring. Like
I looked one up. Yeah, like
gross. I mean, I'll eat fish and stuff. I know, you know what, I'd probably be fine with it, but it's just not something I'd probably go back to. You know?
That's what I mean.
And when I was in Sweden, like there's a lot of roe. Like when you go to IKEA, there's those calais, the fish eggs you put on crackers. It's just like caviar is really salty, right?
Yeah.
And it's good. I don't mind it. A little cheese on there, whatever. But just straight.
But for Dusty, do you think we have to go like baby steps? Because a big step with him is having a burger with veggies on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to eat a burger with veg. Like, you don't even... It actually tastes better. Like,
it does.
It tastes way better with the veggies.
Some
like,
tomatoes,
but
lettuce.
This is what you have to do. You have to make it kind of like baby food. Maybe you puree the tomatoes to make it look like because he eats... Does Dusty not eat like spaghetti with like red pasta sauce? Does he not realize that's all tomatoes?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But like, and keep it simple. You know, he can have his cheese and his bacon and the meat patty, but lettuce, tomato, pickles, or onion. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like onions.
Does he eat pickles?
Probably not. He definitely doesn't eat onions.
Well, you can. He eats onions, but he just doesn't know it.
Oh, I'm intrigued to see him tomorrow. The food.
Yeah, it'll probably get to 11 and he'll have to eat a herring before we get him something that he might actually like.
He'll bring his own chicken fingers.
Because we had the time when we went to the golf tournament and there was lobster tails and he was scared to death of the lobster tail. And I go, Dusty, it's fine. We'll just put it in the butter. And then he did it and he was, he ate it. And he was like, actually, Gage, this isn't too bad. So
we went when I was with my first year with the Elks. We were in Winnipeg and Dusty was there, and so we went for dinner with me and another Elks guy and Huss. We went to the Keg.
Yeah,
he gets a burger. Fine, get a burger. But he orders cheeseburger with bacon. He goes, nothing else on. We all looked at each other. We're like, What are you, like 10?
Yeah. Like when you go to McDonald's, does he just get the hamburger?
Ugh, I haven't had one of those in a while.
You know, we used to eat that all the time.
What's that?
Tom Pody.
Really?
Well, he had massive food allergies, right? But it was weird because that was the one food he could. That shows you the nutritional value of those McDonald's hamburgers. There's nothing in them because he could actually eat those things.
Huh. Interesting. I just rather have a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
It's just no different. A Bootski 05 says, pickled herrings is mildly fishy, salty, vinegary. Not bad if you like these flavors. Well, I like them, but it just doesn't look appealing. Box Pounder says pickled herrings are delish.
Maybe. I haven't had a pickled herring. I'll try it.
Have you Zach?
Anything pickled is fantastic. And herring is amazing. My grandmother used to eat it all the time, so I'm well aware of how good pickled herrings are.
Do you do the seafood?
Oh, I love seafood. I'm not a picky guy at all. I actually, like when you said lobster tails, it's one of the best foods ever. Like
21 years old, and his palate is more advanced than our big boss Dusty.
I mean, yeah, no, it's childlike, but it's amusing. It's kind of funny.
It is funny.
But yeah, we'll get him to try some stuff. I vow to have Dusty knee deep in vegetables and fruit and tofu.
I wonder if he's ever had a kiwi.
I don't know. Well, yeah, because I guarantee, because I remember when he was having those smoothies. He was eating those smoothies all the time. And there had to be some sort of that stuff in there, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We got to figure it out here for the big man. But if you want to see him eat something that he's never had before, but something that you would like to see him go back to and kind of advance his palate as he gets older, right? Like imagine him going to a restaurant and say, I want the salmon, the salmon, right?
I'll get the poached salmon, please.
Because we made it for him here and he actually liked it. Well-seasoned, Gager, right?
No, avocado salad. Like he won't even have guac.
Like, come on. Man.
Come on, man.
Like guac dip.
I made, you should have seen, I was so mad at my wife and daughter because I made two it was a cheese bagel toasted with guac on it, like so basically avocado toast. And I took the dog for a walk, came back, both were gone.
I love like in Chile, like avocado, like it's such a big part of everything. We put it in salads, we put it in everything.
I went to Mexico and it was like in the all inclusive. There was a big thing of it. I came back with a plate. I just ate guac.
Just with a spoon.
Well, like because the only place to get avocados is Costco, really. Yeah. So I go there. You got to wait 2 days, and then usually what happens is I'll make a massive bowl, and my wife and I will sit there in front and watch a TV show and just devour this massive bowl of guac.
Big,
I make it quite good.
Yeah. You got to bring it in one day. Big Ute says most 13-year-olds have a more developed palate. He's getting better. I'm just happy he ate an artichoke. How can you go through life without even trying one? But
and he finds out he doesn't like it. That's fine too. But you can't just stick to the golden food group.
Yeah, that's true. Chicken tendies. It's not a good diet, guys. No. It's not a good diet.
They're delicious, though.
Yeah, it's 2:40. 2 portions this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. And you can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at the CanadianBrewHouse.com. We wrap up EST Afternoons next here with Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas. But first up, here's Zach with a sports update.
Zach Hyman makes his return for the Oilers against the Blue Jackets while Victor Arvidsson remains on the injury reserve. And you can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6, only on EST. Elsewhere, the Jets play the Sabres, the Blues meet the Flames, and the Avs battle the Red Wings for 7 games in the NHL. Over in the CFL, Trevor Harris has signed a 1-year extension with the Rough Riders after going 7-4 last season. And Thursday Night Football action sees a colossal matchup between the Lions and Packers. And make sure to swing by the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to catch the game alongside Lieutenant Eric. For the Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has won this year's Tip O'Neill Award for being Canada's top baseball player, marking the second time he's won the award in his career. On the court, the Raptors tip off against the Thunder with 8 games around the association. More with Gager and Hernan in just a few minutes. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
You could set up your Christmas tree in the last available spot in the house, or you can create the space you need with Sentinel Storage. Get the most out of Christmas. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
It's like a meat spread.
Last segment here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch, 75 thumbs up. Let's get to 100. We got about 10 minutes to go. So if you haven't so far, we got 134 watching Gager. There's got to be 25 that haven't hit it yet, right?
Sorry, I have to correct. I should have said it was Damon Bunting's golf tournament that we were at.
Oh, okay.
And so he brought in the keg to cater afterwards.
Wow.
With steak and lobster. It was fantastic.
Trevor and Airdrie. Sorry, guys, but burgers are not better with all the other crap on there. Oh, come on.
It depends. Like if you get a smash burger just with cheese, yeah, that's fine. But usually I throw the onions on there. It's
Live a little. Gregor says, Dusty's favorite burger is the Mr. Mike's Classic Burger. Says it's the best burger ever. I tried it the other day. Most bland burger ever.
Oh no.
Beaky Spark says, Zach sure likes seafood, and eat it.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Haji, has Dusty tried sushi?
Give him something deep fried. Yeah. Probably not.
No.
I mean,
He won't
sushi
like
grade, he won't like that. I mean, I told you we had poke bowls for my daughter's birthday.
So good.
And we had, my brother-in-law he brought over like 2 pounds of sushi grade tuna.
Yeah.
All like he marinated it and stuff. Like it was unreal.
I love sushi. We went with the Elks to Vancouver. We'd always go to the same restaurant and just have a feast.
Yeah.
Like you order like 6 different like plates and just try it all, man.
He'd like tempura.
You think?
Deep fried, maybe some deep fried carrot or.
Does he like calamari?
Ooh, yeah, I wonder.
Yeah,
Probably not.
Probably not.
But we got to get away from the fried stuff. We got to get.
Yeah, we got to get him healthy so
Yeah.
he doesn't get sick again for
Exactly.
a month. So let's get to some Oiler lines for tonight. Hyman is back, and he'll play with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Connor McDavid. It's going to be Podkolzin, Kasperi Kapanen, and Leon Draisaitl. Skinner remains with Janmark and Adam Henrique. And your fourth line will be Derek Ryan, Corey Perry, and Connor Brown. Defensively, Bouchard Ekholm, who was named to the Swedish Four Nations face-off team. It will be Darnell Nurse with Stetcher coming off taking a puck to the ear. And then it'll be Kulak with Mr. Ty Emberson. And between the pipes, Calvin Pickard, 5-3, gets the start. Tonight should be a fun game down at Rogers Place. They will be honoring Connor McDavid as he'll be presented with a golden stick and a Tiffany Crystal in recognition of scoring 1,000 career points. So if you're going to the game, get there early. You can be part of the presentation early on just before puck drop. Gager, what are you expecting tonight? Close game, high-scoring game, or a blowout either way?
I just think it's going to be a good game with some goals. So I think if I'm going to set an over-under, I would probably say 6.5.
Wow.
I think it's going to be
It's going to be fireworks.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So
Interesting.
You?
Yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be close. I know Edmonton's numbers at home against Columbus are better, but Columbus has won 5 of the last 6. Totally took it to them in the first meeting down in Columbus. I think they're going to get a boost with Zach Hyman. I do. I think he's going to be raring to go.
Should be.
I think some of these guys are going to be playing also with a bit of a chip because they were left off team camp.
Yeah, like we talked about today.
Because I think if Hyman, even if he he's been struggling offensively, but let's just say he wasn't injured, I still think he probably would have made the team. I think the injury kind of set it off. Yes. Because you can't go off 1 month of the season and ignore the body of work. Like, why is Seth Jarvis on the team?
Yeah, I haven't looked at his stats. Zach, what do you think? What do you think what's tonight's game going to look like for you between the Oilers and Blue Jackets?
Well, it was like 6-1 or 6-0 the last time. Like the Blue Jackets just rolled over the Oilers. So I think the Oilers are due for one, especially Brian Hedger there saying the last 10 games straight there's been a power play goal against on the Blue Jackets. I didn't know that, and I think the Oilers are going to start rolling on here. So I think they found their groove. I think it's going to be like a 5-1 win for the Oilers.
Nice. I like that prediction. It's also Thursday night football in the NFL. It's got a monster matchup. The 9-3 Green Bay Packers taking on the 11-1 Detroit Lions, Gager.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You'd think that should be reversed in years prior.
Oh, yeah. It's weird seeing that 11-1 record next to the Detroit Lions, but good on them. They're definitely going to be competing for the Super Bowl when February rolls around. You want to hang out with Lieutenant Eric? Go to the Centric Casino, Fort Road.
I like it.
I think it's Philly cheesesteak brisket today is the special.
Philly? Oh, Thursdays. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Burgers are Monday.
Burgers are Monday. So go hang out with LTE down there. Always has a good crowd of nasties there watching the game. CFL news, the Riders re-signed quarterback Trevor Harris to a 1-year contract extension for next season. I think that was always the move, and it's all leading towards Trey Ford staying in Edmonton. Like Farhan said, starters are set everywhere.
Yeah, the pieces have fallen, right?
Yeah.
Like the dust is basically settled now that Harris is done. So,
and Farhan's also tweeted out yesterday, Jordan McSimic to be named Elks OC, JC Sherritt to be named the DC, and then I think this came from 3 Down. Steven Sorrells is expected to remain with the Elks as part of the new staff, serving as the team's O-line coach and run game coordinator. So he might be the one that from the past staff that ends up staying with this one, as he's done a pretty good job the last 2 years. He had a really good O-line this year. So we'll see what happens there. But none of these have been official, but when Farhan tweets it out, it usually is. It's only a matter of days before it is made official. Edmonton Oilers, Columbus Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock down at Rogers Place. Coming up next, it will be the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. They got a loaded show as well. They'll go to Columbus, and they'll talk some CFL as well. And they always have fun with the all the different little segments they have there. That's from 3 to 6. And then at 6, Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, and myself will take over for the Oil Stream pregame show. And following the game, the 3 of us will return to break it all down. And hopefully it is a win for your Edmonton Oilers. Gager, big day tomorrow. It's Friday. We're having a little shindig during the day. And should be a fun one, though. I'm excited. And then the Oilers welcome in Dylan Holloway on Saturday. How pumped are you for his return?
Don't care.
You don't care?
No.
I
mean, I like Dylan Holloway. Obviously, he's having some success. He's thrust into a different role there, which is, I think that's what he wanted. You know, you look at the guys ahead of you, and you know, maybe
quickly
he probably is in Podkolzin's place right now.
Does he have the same amount of points if he's in Edmonton?
No.
Okay. That's my point.
But he doesn't, but he probably plays on that pod. Well, I don't know if he does that because Leon really likes playing with Podkolzin. And it'll be in. I can't remember enough of Dylan Holloway, but I think he was kind of running around with his hair on fire for most of it, right? So maybe he's refined a little bit more. He was a bull in a china shop, a lot of it. So, but good for him. He's doing well in St. Louis.
Yeah, he's playing right now with Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou, 2 really good offensive players.
Yeah,
so.
He's playing with top guys. So
hey, and the wrench, Tom Gazzola, good show, boys.
Did he say that?
Yeah, that's really nice of him.
Is afternoon drinking, Tommy?
No,
he's a professional.
He's a professional. He's getting ready for the show that's going to be jam-packed. We're going to have a lot of fun with Joaquin Gage filling in for the vacationing cast.
I guess so. I guess they don't have internet in Mexico.
You don't want to be doing a show for Mexico. Man.
Why not?
No,
I would.
Would you?
Oh,
but it's cutting into your like party time.
It'd be perfect. I'd be right in the zone.
20 away from 100. Let's get there. That doesn't have to happen in the next minute, but if you're watching the show, hit the thumbs up. Let's get to over 100 for our show today. Big shout out to Farhan Lalji from TSN and Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch who joined us today on the show. Tomorrow we'll break down everything that goes down at Rogers Place and set you up for the weekend as we're getting closer and closer to Christmas time. And big shout out to you too, Trev, for decorating our studio. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. Keep it locked here for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne and the Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. EST's got you covered. For Zach, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. This has been EST Afternoons. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll chat tomorrow. Ciao.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.